The average Australian household income is just under $120,000 a year. That is genuinely good money by any global standard. And yet the majority of Australian households are living paycheck to paycheck, have less than $10,000 in accessible savings, and are one unexpected bill away from financial stress. Those two facts should not coexist. But they do. And understanding exactly why is the difference between spending another decade wondering where the money went and actually doing something that changes the outcome. Today I'm going to show you the specific reasons most Australians never build wealth. Not the obvious ones you've already heard, but the structural, invisible ones that operate quietly in the background regardless of how hard you work or how much you earn. By the end of this video, you will see your own financial life differently. And that shift in how you see it is what makes the difference. Let's start with the most dangerous financial belief in Australia right now, that a higher income solves the problem. It doesn't. And the data proves it. Australians earning $150,000 a year are statistically almost as likely to be living paycheck to paycheck as Australians earning $70,000. The percentage of income consumed by lifestyle tends to expand in almost direct proportion to the income itself. The car gets upgraded. The suburb gets more expensive. The holidays get longer. The restaurants get better. The wardrobe grows. Economists call this lifestyle inflation. Most Australians experience it as the feeling that no matter what they earn, there is never quite enough left over at the end of the month. The income goes up. The savings rate stays flat. Sometimes it gets worse. This is the first invisible trap. And it is invisible precisely because it feels like progress. A nicer car feels like success. A better suburb feels like you're moving forward. The spending is socially rewarded and privately destructive at exactly the same time. The second trap is more structural. And it operates through something most Australians have never thought about clearly. The difference between assets and expenses that look like assets. Most Australians believe they are building wealth because they own things. A car. A boat. A house full of furniture. In some cases, the family home. These things feel like wealth because they cost a lot of money and because they create the physical experience of abundance. But most of them are not assets in any meaningful financial sense. An asset puts money into your pocket. An expense takes it out. A car that depreciates 15% a year while costing $400 a month in repayments, insurance, registration, and maintenance is not an asset. It is one of the most expensive liabilities most Australian households carry, dressed up in language that makes it feel like ownership. Even the family home, the cornerstone of the Australian wealth mythology, deserves honest examination here. A home you live in does not generate income. It does not pay you monthly. It consumes money through mortgage repayments, council rates, insurance, maintenance, and renovation. The capital gain it eventually produces is real and valuable. But while you live in it, it behaves financially much more like a large expense than a compounding asset. The Australians who build genuine wealth understand the difference between something that looks like wealth and something that functions like it. And they make fundamentally different decisions as a result. The third trap is the one most content on this topic completely ignores. And it is the most powerful of all. The default financial system in Australia is not designed to make you wealthy. It is designed to extract maximum value from your income on behalf of everyone except you. Your employer pays you the legal minimum super. Your bank offers savings rates that trail inflation. Your energy provider, your insurer, your mortgage lender, your streaming services, your phone plan, every single one of these systems is engineered to capture as much of your income as possible through auto-pay, loyalty inertia, and the friction of switching. The average Australian household has between 8 and 12 ongoing subscription or direct debit commitments they have not actively reviewed in the past 12 months. Many of these are services being paid for at a rate that was competitive when they signed up and is now significantly above market. But the friction of reviewing them, the time required, the mild awkwardness of cancelling, is just high enough that most people never do it. This is not an accident. It is design. The financial institutions and service providers that surround Australian households have optimised their systems specifically to capture income at the point of least resistance. And the default setting, do nothing, stay comfortable, avoid the friction, serves their interests perfectly. Breaking that default is not a budgeting tip. It is a philosophical position. It requires actively choosing to treat your money as something that works for you rather than something that flows through you toward everyone else who has set up an automatic claim on it. Now here's the myth bust that reframes everything above. Most Australians believe the solution to these problems is discipline. Willpower. Spending less on coffee, cutting the subscriptions, being stricter with the budget. That framing is not wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete. Because the research on financial behavior consistently shows that willpower is one of the least reliable tools available for building wealth. It gets depleted. It gets outcompeted by social pressure, by advertising, by the constant stimulation of a consumption-driven culture. Every single day you are being asked to spend money on things specifically engineered to be hard to resist. The Australians who consistently build wealth do not rely on willpower. They rely on structure. They automate the wealth building first. Before the money has a chance to be spent on anything else, a set percentage, 10%, 15%, whatever the current rate allows, moves automatically into a separate investment account, a super top-up, a mortgage offset, or a brokerage account. It is not willpower that keeps it there. It is the absence of friction in the other direction. This is sometimes called paying yourself first. But the deeper principle is more important than the phrase. The principle is that financial behavior follows system design, not intention. If the system is designed to spend, you will spend. If the system is designed to save and invest, you will save and invest. And the good news is that in Australia in 2026, the tools to build that system are free, accessible, and require approximately 1 afternoon to set up. Open a separate high-interest savings account or a brokerage account. Set up an automatic transfer for the day after your pay hits. Pick a number you can genuinely sustain. Even $200 a fortnight is enough to start. And then leave it alone. That one structural decision, made once and automated, will do more for your financial position over the next decade than any number of budgeting apps, spending reviews, or financial resolutions you make on January 1st. The fourth reason most Australians stay financially stuck is the one that connects all the others. Time. Or more specifically, the systematic underestimation of what time does to money when it is invested rather than spent. Most Australians think about financial progress in terms of the amount they save. If I save $5,000, I have $5,000 more than I had before. That arithmetic is correct in the short term and catastrophically wrong in the long term, because $5,000 invested in a diversified ASX portfolio at 8% average annual return for 30 years does not become $5,000 plus some interest. It becomes approximately $50,000, 10 times the original amount, without adding another dollar. The Australians who understand this are in a completely different financial conversation from the ones who don't. They are not asking how much can I save this month. They are asking how much time can I give my money. Those are different questions and they produce entirely different lives. The wealth gap in Australia is not primarily an income gap. It is a time gap. The people who are financially free in their 50s are not necessarily the ones who earn the most. They are the ones who started building assets the earliest and gave compounding the longest runway to operate. Every year you delay that starting point costs you approximately one doubling at the end of the compounding curve. Not because you contributed less, because time is the actual engine and you gave it less fuel. So here's the single takeaway from everything in this video. You do not need a higher income to change your financial trajectory in Australia. You need a different system. Stop relying on discipline and build automation. Stop accumulating expenses that look like assets. Stop letting the default financial system extract your income on behalf of everyone else. And start giving your money time, because time is the one variable that cannot be bought back at any price. Make one structural change today. Not a resolution. Not a plan. One automated transfer. One direct debit to a brokerage or offset account that moves before you ever have the chance to spend that money on something else. That is the whole strategy. And it is available to you right now, at whatever income level you're currently at. If this reframed how you're thinking about money, hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.